All right. Hi, everybody. This is Body Electrician Live. We have another edition going on here tonight. And I'm Nancy Piscatello from New York. And we have Cheryl Whitehouse, who's in San Diego.
Hi.
How you doing, Cheryl? And tonight, we have a special treat for everybody because I know we've had a lot of questions about diet, food, where to shop, all kinds of questions. So tonight we have Delanne Walts with us. Hello, Delanne.
Hello, girls. That's a heck of an intro. At least like I'm an expert on all this. But.
You are. We bow to you. We know you have all the information. Yeah, we had a lot of questions. In fact, Cheryl was good enough to write a lot of them down, which was great. Kind of organized our thoughts for tonight.
Yeah, I even got a little heads up.
Yeah, exactly. That helps everybody, right?
Right, got to look a few things up for you.
That's it. Yeah, I noticed we're getting a lot of people on the kitchen kind of really asking a lot more questions. They're offering a lot more like what's going on in their lives, which is really kind of nice. It's really becoming quite a little community.
I'm sorry I haven't had a lot of time to get on and really follow what's going on there, but now that school's out, I should have a little more time to do it.
There you go. Well, yeah, they love to hear you and Will come on, and you know, you've got a lot of admirers. Let's put it that way.
Yeah, I'd like to thank Dawn and Jill for allowing us a peek into their lives and stuff that's been going on with them in the kitchen lately. They've both been posting a lot just about their own struggles and triumphs and problems and different things. And it's really good for everyone to see that. You know, we're all clients, so you know whether we're scan hubs or not. You know, we're all doing the same thing, and it's not always easy. So thank you for sharing, Dawn and Joel.
Dawn and Joel, yes. Absolutely. I am so touched and moved by Dawn lately. She has so, I want to say blossomed. I know that's a word you use for like adolescence or something, but the way that she's taken on her healing on all levels and the things that she's actually a stand for other people now. She's making contributions to others, but how far she's come and how good she's doing. I'm just so impressed. Dawn, you're amazing.
I know she's watching today. And,
she warned me she would be, yeah.
Yeah, we're Facebook friends, right, Dawn? So anyway, yeah, I know Dawn was one of the people that was asking us a lot of the questions, right, Cheryl? So, but I don't know if you wanted to start off with that turmeric question.
Yeah, that's one that I've heard a lot of people talking about turmeric, and you know, all over online, and some people have asked me about it. I've tried it a little myself, but I was wondering how you guys felt about turmeric as the product people should be taking or not be taking. You guys have a view about that?
Yeah, it was kind of funny for me that you even had that on the list because I've been discovering turmeric lately. It's got a lot of beneficial things. We've been working on putting together a natural pain reliever, and we've collected a few ingredients, and it hasn't come together. And I've been feeling like it may just be that there needs to be some turmeric in there. It's very good for pain relief. It's good for so many things. And typically, when you use herbs on a daily basis, most herbs lose their medicinal value, but with turmeric, it doesn't seem to be that way. It seems to be that it's really healthy for you to use a lower dose, like a 1 to 3 grams maybe a day, but you can go all the way up to 8 or 10 if you're using it medicinally. And there's so many things it's good for medicinally. It's really, what do you want to say? It's very unique in the herb family. That's probably why it's been around for 6,000 years in the Ayurvedic world.
Right, I was going to say that's where I heard it.
Yeah. I mean, it replaces blood thinners, it replaces painkillers. Yeah, my mind goes blank when I want to start to reach the list, but it's just there's so many things it's good for. Yeah, you should have a little bit in your food regularly, and blood pressure as well. I think even things like skin rashes,
Right.
lowers the blood sugar.
I thought I saw
Are either
some
of you?
people. I thought I saw some people like heating it or something. Do you know what I'm
You
talking
can make, yeah, there's hot drinks they make with it, and of course it's in curry.
about? Right.
What do you mean by eating it? You mean,
No, heating it, like I guess making some sort of drink with it and making it hot. Perhaps it I don't know, stimulates the herbs somehow or makes it
well, it's definitely a stimulant.
oh, it is. It can be used as a stimulant too, huh?
Mm-hmm. A morning drink with ginger to get your day going if you're trying to get off the coffee.
Right.
I know someone who's doing that. Actually, I guess I know two people who are doing that. My daughter and Will, both, right?
Well,
No more coffee for Will? No way.
that lasted a week. He's drinking more tea, more of the herbal teas, but he's having his coffee in the morning.
I got to be so careful with coffee. It's like I love it, but boy, if it's too strong, I am a jittery maniac the rest of the day. I really am. Cannot drink it at night. I don't know. Some people have no problem with it. I guess everybody's different.
Now I can't drink it past noon, but have a hard time waking up without a cup of coffee.
Mm-hmm. Certainly adds to the morning, right? It's that taste too. I don't know.
Yeah,
That
just the
taste.
smell.
Cheryl, well, go ahead. Give some of some of the questions on that list. I mean, I could go, but go for it.
Yeah, I also had some questions going into summer. We've done a summer show before, but just they're more like to do with traveling and things. Are just even things to keep bugs away, like mosquitoes and fleas and ticks and things that contribute to our bacteria that comes up on the scans. Yeah.
Well, yeah, that's pretty much if you want to use a good, safe bug repellent, you're going to have to probably make something up yourself.
Uh-huh.
Most things on the market really are not good for you. But I came across a recipe. It's called Vinegar of the Four Thieves. Yeah, and I haven't used this yet, but I'm going to try it. It's basically, you've all heard of the thieves' oil?
Yes.
You know, the essential oils. Well, it's the same ingredients, and you can actually use the oils or the herbs, but it's equal parts of thyme, rosemary, sage, lavender, mint, and then you throw in there, well, if this recipe is based on 2 tablespoons of each of those in herbal form, and then you put in 4 to 8 cloves of garlic and 32 ounces of apple cider vinegar. You put it in the closet and let it brew for 1 to 2 months, and then you can put it in tincture bottles or spray bottles. You actually want to dilute it 50-50 to spray it on your body, but it's good for not only bug repellent, but it's good for some of the little things that ail us. It's good for like an overall tonic, and even like, you know, for little rashes, infections, things like that. So I thought that was pretty interesting. I found that one today. After the 4 to 6 weeks, you strain it out, and then just it'll store forever. It's like a tincture then.
Wow.
Have you used the body splash on your skin before, either of you? For I find it keeps well, mosquitoes away, and well, I guess I don't wear any sort of sun protection. I just put the body splash on, but I also have Indian genes, so
I have not used it for bugs, but I do use it for sunburn. There's a lot of oils you can use for bugs. You know, the cedar is pretty well known. Eucalyptus, lemon, lavender, mint. There's a variety of oils. A lot of the essential oils, you dab them on, they'll help.
Yeah.
But the thing is that they go away pretty quick. You have to keep, you know, reapplying them.
Maybe that recipe, Delanne, we could get you to put on on the kitchen.
Yeah, I'll post that tomorrow.
Yeah, that seems really helpful. I bet people would like that.
And I like that it's basically the thieves formula.
Yeah, exactly. I've heard about that for years. I've never actually tried it, but I have heard about it. Um, Not to jump too quickly back into food, but I know we had some questions about where do you guys buy your food? So that's like, like, do you guys shop at the regular supermarket? Do you join co-ops? Do you farm stand, or do you grow most of your own food? Or
Well, we're in West Virginia. There's not a lot of agriculture here. And we're kind of on the end of the delivery route for most of the grocery stores. So yeah, we shop there. We stick to the organics as much as we can. But on our regular trips home up to Pennsylvania, we pick up a lot of stuff there. There's a lot more variety. Most of the grocery stores have enough organics now, that you can get by. And well, the good farmers markets are seasonal. There's a farmer's market year-round up in the Lehigh Valley where I come from. Hi, Joe.
sorry, a pig salad. Really?
Okay, that's endearing.
That's my husband, by the way. Okay.
What we found with a lot of the farmers markets, even down here, they're coming off the same trucks as the conventional vegetable suppliers. So just because it's a farmer's market, you really want to find out if it's locally grown, how it's grown. Good food is a lot of different places, and you have to ask questions. You have to just be that responsible, or grow it yourself, of course.
But you guys do grow a lot of your own food. I know you do.
Well, we have the gardens. Problem is paying the attention to it as busy as we are. So our gardens do not produce the way they could if we had a real gardener tending them.
You still
we're growing pigs and chickens now.
I was going to say chickens and pigs too, right?
Yep.
The pigs?
Pardon?
You guys still have pigs?
Yeah, we have 22, I believe. We got 5 adults and a whole mess of babies.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Actually, we've just we're moving the pigs to a farm back up in Pennsylvania. Where that's what's going to be on the farm. It's a pig farm. So right now we've been trying to do it here along with everything else we're doing, and it's a lot. So the kids got an inspiration. They want to be farmers. So they'll be moving up to the farm and, putting it into a full operation.
Oh, that's awesome.
Non-GMO heritage breed, basically grass-fed. They do get a little bit of grain just to get the supplements into them, but really high-quality meat. That's the reason we did it.
Right. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You've been doing a lot of that sprouting of the seeds, too, to make the fodder for them.
Yeah, we have a fodder system, so they have grass year-round. That's really kind of neat, too. During the winter, it's all snow and ice outside, and you take this little piece of like a carpet of grass you throw down in front of them, they go crazy.
Yeah. Yeah, I've been doing my own experiments to make sprouted food for my chickens, and so they're slowly transitioning to that as well. It's more nutrient dense for them, and it's more cost effective. So I just got to get it down, what to do and all.
Chickens love it.
Yeah.
We'll just take a handful and grow it and fight over it. There's what?
Not much growing naturally at the moment, It's too sunny. Yeah.
We kind of have that problem here. We have high elevation and not much shade. The sun is kind of brutal.
Huh.
This is great because now people are tuning in. We're talking about food. Hey, we're even talking about food that you're producing yourself. I mean, that's pretty cool.
Got to practice what you preach.
What's that, Delanne?
I said you got to practice what you preach.
That's it. Great. Yeah. Back into the food, though. Another question that came up is, what to look for and avoid when buying meat. So,
Well, if you can find a butcher, that's your best bet, and you really need to talk to the butcher. Find out where he's getting it from, excuse me. And the more you can find out about how it's raised, the better. We were able to find a butcher. Well, down here, there's grass-fed beef available, readily available. Up in Pennsylvania, it wasn't so easy, but we found butchers that got their did their own butchering right. They killed the animal and butchered it so that they knew exactly where it came from, and they would get it from like Amish communities before it went into the toxic fattening process. And so there, it was a pretty good grade. They weren't organic there, but it was, I mean, you can only do the best that you can do. And we have 8 people sitting down to dinner every day. It gets a little pricey. So, you know, you find your balance, but then you make up for it with the right supplements so that you help your body be able to eliminate whatever might be there that you know, that isn't maybe the best.
yeah. You know, you brought up organic food before, but there's so much changing in organics, I find. There's so many companies that are buying up other organic companies. I'm noticing, I don't know if you both have noticed this, but it's like you read the label and you haven't read it in a while, and suddenly there's things in the item that you don't remember being there.
Mm-hmm.
There's, in fact, even cream. Like I'll buy an organic cream once in a while if I can't find some locally. And, you know, it went from like guar gum to
All
Gelen.
these sorbates and yeah.
All these weird, and then you got to look that up, and you're like, all right, what is this stuff now? So they're constantly shifting things. You don't know what's okay, what's not okay. I mean, and like you said, you can't always locate perfect food all the time.
No, you can't. And the more you get informed about it, you got to read labels, you got to ask questions. Organic, the term organic really is just a selling marketing tool anymore. You know, technically there's really no such thing. Because first of all, most organic farms are converted from conventional. And when you have glyphosates that are going to be in the soil for 100 years, if you don't know how to remediate that, I mean, organic food has been proven to have glyphosates in it. That's from Roundup.
Wow.
Yeah, so, you know, again, you do the best you can, but you try to find out where it comes from, what's been done to it, you know, where it's been grown, who grew it, even how long it's since it's been picked. Because so many of our foods, even the organic ones, you know, they're picked 6 weeks, 2 months, even longer before they come to your table. Well, you know they don't have the same nutrition they did the day they were pulled out of the garden.
That's right.
So it's we've gotten kind of spoiled and lazy as a society, and for a time we came to trust, you know, that if we'd go to the store and get something, it would be good for us. But I think people are realizing more and more, and we just have to take that responsibility back. And obviously not everybody can grow their own food or provide it for themselves, but you can make some phone calls, ask some questions, you know, make friends and find out where the better sources are.
Yeah.
Yeah, do some trading, whatever it takes.
Yeah. Yeah, and there's a lot of people getting together, and I don't know if there's a term for it, but, you know, they'll grow for each other and trade off that way. Some will raise meat, some will have eggs and chickens, and others will do the, you know, the growing bigger crops and then trade with each other. I think that's an awesome idea. It brings back community.
I was just going to
Yeah.
say, it sounds like old time living. You know, that's
Uh-huh.
yeah. You
Yeah.
actually get to
I
know.
trade eggs for other things. Yeah.
Yeah, we'll be doing that soon. Our girls aren't going to start laying until fall, and then they'll probably, if we get a few eggs, they're going to stop right away. But by spring, we should be having eggs.
There you go.
Yeah.
So, what are some other things you want to talk about, Miss Cheryl? How
Dawn was asking, how to prepare the meat too. Best ways to prepare meat, I suppose, or maybe is there anything that should be avoided when it comes to cooking meat? Or
Well, don't overcook it. Don't cook it in any vegetable fat. This time of year, the grills are great. My personal favorite in the summertime is grilling it with grilled pineapple. Almost any meat, chicken, pork chops, beef, they all taste good with that.
Yeah. All right, so go into grilling. Now, what do you guys use for on the grill? Are you okay with wood, charcoal, briquettes, or what? Like, what kind of things do you guys use?
Mostly wood. Charcoal's a little bit toxic. You can get some, I don't even know what they call it, but you can get some that isn't so bad.
Right.
We'll use propane. I have a really cool ceramic topped outside grill that takes propane,
Okay.
which I love the way it sears the meat, especially steaks, but wood, we'll cook on wood mostly.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and other than that, I don't know. I get kind of bored with food, so I try to do something different every time what kind of a twist can I give it today?
Well, that's funny because somebody said help for when you're in a food rut and hating the diet. And we all go there, I just can't eat this anymore.
My best advice at those times is fast for a couple of days. When you're feeling that way about food, give it a break.
That's an interesting, Delanne, how stupid am I? I just never even, that never occurred to me. That's awesome that you just said that. Like, yeah, really.
It's very healthy. It makes you change your mind about food. Getting bored with it, it's a good little cleanse, and there's lots of good beverages you can have, like teas, and I've been really into making ginger tea, sweetening it with a little bit of honey. It's a stimulant. And then like we mashed the strawberries, threw some of that in. You can put lemon or lime in it, different ways, and just have beverages for a couple of days and skip the food.
Yeah, you were talking about your strawberries and all the stuff you were making. You gotta tell everyone else about all your strawberry creations. What can you do with strawberries?
Oh gosh, all kinds of things. Mix them in your yogurt. I made a really nice fruit salad with strawberries and pineapples and apples and bananas. The kids were loving that, and then we mixed that. I made some homemade whipped cream. They had strawberries and whipped cream. You can blend honey and cream cheese for like a fruit dip. And you can add other fruits besides strawberries. We made a strawberry cream pie. And I just take the recipes, and like one of them had corn syrup, so I just used raw honey. And I will replace most recipes. I'll replace the sugar for honey. You just got to cut down a little bit on the more dry ingredients or add some thickeners to it. But we made strawberry cream pie. We made this strawberry beverage with juices and things in it. We made a strawberry ice cream. That was fun. Homemade, yeah.
What do you guys have, like an ice cream maker, like a little machine?
Yeah, no, you got to crank.
Oh, you can crank.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
That's
The
really
guys stood in line, took their turns.
Oh, that's awesome. That is cool. There's some sort of trick you can do with that, isn't there? Like you can actually put it in some sort of container with ice around it or something. I forget. Somebody showed me that it's like a camping, like
It's called an ice cream maker, honey.
Yes.
You can get them electric or with the crank. Yeah, actually, I used to take the Girl Scout. I was a senior and cadet Girl Scout leader for a number of years, and we used to make ice cream camping. We would take a small 1-pound coffee can and put the ice cream ingredients into that, and then we would have a 3-pound coffee can. We'd put that inside of, and then what you do is you pack it with rock salt and ice.
That's it, rock salt.
Yeah, the girls would just roll the cans back and forth until the ice cream got hard.
Yeah,
that was always fun.
Like a science experiment. The kids go, yes,
Magic.
Yeah, it's really cute, But I bet Mika would like that. Woo!
She loved it, yes.
She's so cute. Anyway, let's see. What else we got here? Thank you, Dawn, for all these questions. We're dumbfounded tonight without you. Anyway.
How about snacks and stuff, like when you're on the road or you go hiking or something, and I mean, for years I had trail mix and stuff, but got a lot of nuts and stuff in it.
Yeah. You know, to be honest, we don't do a lot of snacking. I'm a one meal a day girl, and the house, we provide breakfast, lunch, and dinner, but there's really not a lot of in between. Plantain chips, maybe, dried fruit, but we really don't do that too much. It doesn't seem to be, like, I know when I was raising my kids and I was into healthier stuff, but we still had the grains and, you know, more conventional style of eating, and it seemed like everybody was hungry all the time.
Right.
But that seems to have like gone away. And it's interesting. I was watching a video the other day. There was I'm horrible with names, so I'm not going to be able to give you the names, but one of these, not a Deepak Chopra, but, one of those, what do you call the guys from India that are so wise?
Guru.
Yeah, guru type. Okay. So they were talking about water. And he says, in my country, he says, it's very hot and people work all day. He says, but you never see anybody walking around carrying their water. But in America, people are so worried about water. And he made a couple of points. I know this is a little off subject, but I'm going to relate it to food. That sipping water all day long can actually be detrimental to the body. And that it's really better for the body to really to work and get thirsty and then take a good drink and give it time to absorb and process the water instead of a constant flow. Really made me kind of think. And I think it's almost the same way when it comes to snacking. Your body is basically, it's an organic processing plant. So you give it what it needs, and maybe it's a better idea that it finishes the job before you are, recycling more all the time. That kind of seemed more natural to me, to my thinking.
Well, you wonder about us as species, I guess, in a way, because if we were out in the wild, we wouldn't have access to food all the time or water all the time, unless you were carrying it with you, I guess. But indigenous people, I don't think, did too much of that. If they were moving, you had to kind of wait till you got to someplace that had, water or whatever.
Or use it sparingly.
Yeah. So probably our bodies are adaptable. That's what I gather. I mean, your body kind of gets used to certain things. Some people just do that all day, whatever, snack or drink all day. You're probably right, though. I don't do either all day, but and especially water. I was going to ask you about water because I forget to drink water like all the time. Like, days go by and I go, when's the last time I had some, something to drink? I mean, I guess I'm getting it from my food, but
drink when you're thirsty.
Yeah, which I'm not often, which is kind of weird, but yet today I do have my little trusty water bottle with a choke or something. But yeah, and I was telling Cheryl about this. It's kind of a cool bottle if anybody's looking for. It's a glass bottle that has like a cool like rubber stopper around the top and a stopper at the top with rubber in it too. So it's all glass, you
A grip.
Plastic, yeah. And it's called Ello, E-L-L-O. I got it in Target. Target. You guys know Target? Yeah.
Target. Okay, I didn't get that.
Target. That's a New York thing.
No, we say it here too.
Yeah.
Saying it for years, many years.
Everywhere.
Yeah.
Joke on Target, right? Yeah. So what else we got there, Cheryl? We got to keep this.
I have a couple of questions from a client actually the other day. And we were sitting down and doing her scan review, and we were eating these cherries, and these things had no flavor. We were like, what's wrong with these cherries? And and I've had some grapes too lately, and they just it's like they just don't have any sweetness to them, no flavor. Do you have any idea what's going on with that, or is that just
The soils are depleted. They're, you know, too much the same. Well, cherry
yeah?
trees and grapevines don't. You know, it's not like you. Gosh, my mind's a blank. Like it's not like you rotate the crops with those things. But I mean, if your soil's not mineral rich, the minerals is what gives foods the flavor.
Hmm.
And we all know how depleted the environment, the food chain, everything is with that. And when they're mass producing and then they're putting chemicals on to force the plants to produce even more, if you're eating conventional ones, but that's the problem.
These are the expensive organic ones from, the health food store. So,
Well,
yeah.
you
But
probably
even, yeah, I know how the grapes are grown. I'm so aware now of how the grapes are grown, and definitely in California. I mean, they just go on and on and on. I mean, it doesn't even look like there's humans involved in the process.
and all that monocropping, it just
Mhm.
strips everything out.
Yeah.
It really does. And you know, just because they're organic doesn't mean they're more nutritional. It means they have less chemicals, but it doesn't, even permaculture doesn't give you a broad spectrum of minerals. And it takes the broad spectrum of microbes in the soils for the plants to uptake the minerals. So you got to bring the balance back to the growing medium to get good, flavorful, nutritious food.
Yeah, and
Uh-huh.
oddly enough, I just had some strawberries that were outrageous, and I thought, now why do these taste so good? And then you get others that taste like cardboard. You just,
If you
you know,
find out where they were grown, you could probably come straight to that answer. Our strawberries were amazing. And
well,
we've been feeding them. We've even, for a while, we're giving them the water off the fodder. So we put the minerals and the microbes on the fodder in the last stages, and then we catch the water that drains off of it and go feed the strawberries with it.
Mm.
yum.
I mean, they popped, and we had more strawberry. We've been using our supplements for plants on them for a couple of years now. But this year, in addition to that, we added the fodder water, and like, wow, we probably had 3 or 4 times as many, and the flavor was just out of this world.
Mm.
Yeah.
Yeah, we got spoiled.
And I've been noticing something very strange about raspberries lately. Now I get the little Driscoll's organic raspberries because I eat my fruit every morning. I try to do a lot of berries and things. And
Hmm.
they're brand new from the store. You open them up. The top layer is okay, and the underneath is a mushy mess with mold everywhere. And they're $5 for this little teeny container of your. It's
It's
absurd.
horrible.
It is.
This is actually something you should have Will expound on because he's got a lot of experience in the food industry and he can tell you exactly what's going on. But even with organics, foods are picked far too soon, way long before you ever get them in the store to even take them off the shelf. But even again, organics, they don't have to tell you what they do to them after they grow them organically. And they have to do things to make them survive the long trip from the farm where they're grown to the grocery store. And so they use gas on them, they use chemicals on them. And, you know, if they're organic, it's not going to work quite as well. So you're going to get the mushy and the mold in there eventually, but it's not the freshest. It's not the best choice. You need some raspberry bushes in your backyard.
We'll have to ask Mr. Patrick Jordan next week what he thinks of the mold situation on the raspberries because he's got some interesting things growing on his cherries. Was it, Cheryl? I don't know
Is that
what
what he said?
something about his cherries taste like cheddar cheese.
Cheddar cheese.
Wow.
I'm not sure what's in there, but stinky cherries.
Yeah.
Well, he's in the middle of agriculture, so
Yeah.
I don't think he can really prevent it from, you know, getting to where he's growing things.
Yeah, well,
He's surrounded.
he is surrounded, and he brought up something about going outside, and these fumes were coming from his neighbors that had been sprayed. Uh,
Mm.
and I think about that sometimes even where I am because I'm around a lot of vineyards. Now, you
You
see
are.
these machines that go over the grapes and like spraying everything, and I'm saying, now, where's all that going when it's done? You know? It's going in the air. So it's funny that Joe and I just did a scan because you can hear it's still in me a bit. He's got something going on, and it's very, it's like you wonder if they've been spraying a lot. There was stuff going on in our lake, so it's interesting. Agriculture, you really have to be careful living around agriculture, you know. And we
Yeah, well,
had,
when they spray, I mean, it can go as far as 10 miles.
yeah.
In fact, sometimes it's heavier that far away than it is, like right next door.
Right, because it's
Oh,
almost drifting and then it lands, right?
right.
Thing, yeah, yeah. I wonder about that. I even wonder if that's what caused some of the problem in the lake at the beginning of the season. It's much better now, but I don't know what that was. And,
Probably.
you know, my scan came up with tons of pesticides, so there you go. Right?
There you go, yeah. At least you know what to do about it.
Yeah, so if you're concerned, I mean, you know, this is why we do this because you can't control everything that's happening in your world. You just can't. It's in fact most of what goes on you're out of control. So a way to have a bit of positive control is seeing you guys and getting a scan and I not only you know help other people with the products and the scans, but my whole family is on it, and we do it religiously, you know.
If you have a natural environment inside, then if you put something tainted in, there's a pretty good chance your body will be able to take care of it and just, send it out through the eliminations and not let it get into your tissues, for the
Yes.
most part at least.
Hmm. Well, I can't say enough good things about the scans, and what comes up is so accurate. It's eerie, actually. You know, sometimes not in the best way, but that's okay.
You do learn a lot.
Oh
It
yeah,
certainly shows you a lot of information.
it does. But what else you got going on over there, Miss Cheryl?
I've got another question from a client. She asked, "Oh, how do you get through the sugar cravings without going insane?"
uh,
Big sigh.
we're all a little insane, first of all. If you understand what it is, and then you're a little smart about doing some things to replace it, but that can get complicated. I mean, there's definitely a withdrawal that we go through. There's sugars, there's processed foods, there's grains, and all the starchy foods, which basically is sugar also, because that's what it turns into in the digestives. So there's a withdrawal period, and that withdrawal isn't just your human biology withdrawing. It causes a die-off, or it cuts down on the pathogenic overload. Well, those colonies actually connect into our nervous systems, and so they will cause you to have cravings, and you don't know the difference if it's your colonies that want sugar or it's you, except that if you're informed, you know that your body will never crave sugar. There's no nutrition in sugar. There's just no way your human biology would ever want that. So that it's something to get through, and to also understand that as you're going through that and you're denying yourself, it's almost unavoidable. You're going to have some kind of tension, anxiety, upset, because the next thing that happens is the colonies, we'll call them, that live within you, will begin to make you feel like you're craving, which spikes a mood because you're denying yourself. And these hormonal secretions you have in that kind of wanting and that tension, they also feed the colonies, the pathogens. And so you have to go through, getting off the stuff, dealing with the cravings of it, and also some mood swings. That's literally why mood swings go on when you're trying to give up almost anything that you love. Coffee, sweets, alcohol, even drug addiction. There's a sweet connection to all those things. So what to do about it? Eat some melon. If you need a sweet, use raw honey. It's already pre-digested. It doesn't cause the same insulin and chemical imbalances in the digestive process. And love yourself.
Can you have too much raw honey?
Can you have too? Well, you can have too much of anything. But if it's a choice between raw honey and sugar, have the honey.
Yeah, last year you guys gave me some sort of honey when you came that had cinnamon in it. Oh my goodness, that was unbelievable. I mean, that was like a dessert. When I craved something sweet, I just went over and, okay, just have a little teaspoon of that or something. It was amazing.
Yeah, that's not a bad thing. That or some dark chocolate.
Yeah, I was just going to say, but of course, that came up on the kitchen too, the advent of GMO chocolate and all of that, right? That was pretty interesting. Have you heard of that, Delanne?
I'm not surprised. I don't know if I've specifically heard about that. There's not much that's not genetically modified.
I know.
It's you got to know where your food comes from.
Yeah.
But a broad spectrum of microbes in your gut, if it's a good healthy spectrum, does protect you from genetic modification.
Which is another reason to...
You're going to get some. I don't care, unless you're making yourself insane, being compulsive, obsessive about everything, which, that's not healthy either.
No.
You're going to get some. Just accept that you are, and you're doing what it takes to correct it.
Yeah. Well, that also ties in with the whole emotions, which you were talking about before. It's, you don't want to drive yourself crazy because the stress from what you're eating probably would outweigh the negative from the food. Maybe, I don't know. It's,
well, I really think there's a dynamic. I mean, we're body, mind, and spirit, and the body is the least of the three. And so as we grow in awareness, in our joy, in our connection, our community, our love, our connection to our higher self, spirit, whatever you want to call it, I do believe that there's a facility there that will protect us from literally anything. When we can be in perfect balance, especially in our mental, emotional, spiritual bodies, you can take a lot of assault and have no impact from it. So it's, there's so many variable factors in what it takes to be well. If you're working on all those levels and your intentions are clear and good, right there, I mean, people have cured cancer with laughter.
Yeah.
That breaks all the rules, doesn't it?
Sure.
Yeah, we're powerful creators. And, our belief is a large part of our experience. So if we think something's going to make us sick, or if we're afraid, if we're resisting, if we go into, lower frequency emotional states over circumstances in our life, or worry about this or that, those are all detrimental to your health. If you have none of that, how much stronger does your immunity get, or how much does that just overcome? I don't think we know the full story yet. But I think there's a huge stream of possibility there.
Yeah, I wonder about that too. And I think I brought that up with Will one time, because I had a client briefly who she just did not look healthy. She just um, and very tense woman, just
Mm.
very very tense. And when we did her scan, the numbers were so low. And I asked Will about that. I'm like, what's going on with her? It's like there was nothing outstanding really going on with her, but it's just I've never seen anybody's numbers that low. But here's such a tense woman, and I think I remember him saying something about that she it's almost like her whole being is suppressing things. Any thoughts on that, Delia? I mean, it's kind of weird.
Well, it's a subconscious dynamic. It's a survival mechanism. It only works for so long. Someone like that can go a long way, but typically, when you go from one extreme, you go to the other.
Right.
So somebody who can suppress to that extent, at some point, will probably have a pretty hefty crash.
Right.
And other than that, I don't know. I mean, the only other time I've seen that is with people who not long later actually passed away. The numbers go down and the body goes to peace when that time is coming. But most of the time, when there's just that suppression, that's pure ego. That's pure survival.
Right.
And it's not human to be able to do that for extended periods of time. Something, you're going to blow a cork.
Yeah. Good point. Mhm.
Unfortunately, those are the people that suddenly find out, they go for a regular checkup and find out they got all kinds of things going on.
Yeah, I've always been. I don't know. I've never been one to like run to the doctor for. Um, I don't know all these tests that people have. See, this is why I see you guys. But I know a lot of people who are constantly going for tests, and my feeling has always been, well, if you look long enough and hard enough, you will find something. You know,
Well,
You'll find something. That's for sure.
that's their business. That's a medical industry. They
Yeah,
have all kinds of ways to find things to treat. There's hardly anybody without something they can point to.
yeah, exactly. I don't know. I think and the world is so symptom based to break down that symptom. Make the symptom go away. But there's something to be said for looking within, like what's going on. Where's that coming from? You know.
Yeah, that's one of the hardest things that we find with people sticking with working with us is people want a quick fix. They want their symptom to go away. It's hard to get people to understand there's a reason why that's there, and that didn't happen as quick as that symptom showed up. That was a long time coming before you actually got a symptom from it. And if you want to resolve the symptom and the reason for the symptom so that you don't keep having reasons to go relieve symptom after symptom, you got to bring the balance back. You got to go backwards through whatever it is that was deteriorated or compromised in your body. It's difficult for people. I mean, that goes right back to what I said before. We are a spoiled society. We don't have delay of gratification. We don't understand a lot of the deeper meanings and values of doing things naturally, waiting for the reward, um, and having that stability to keep us, for the long haul. Everybody wants it quick.
Yeah.
That's that and the diet, transitioning to the diet. Those are the two most difficult things that I see that people have to do things naturally and restore their health in a natural way.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And when people first hear about the diet, it sounds, you say, oh, it's, simple rules, no grains, nuts, seeds, and tubers, and they kind of go, okay, and then they think about it, and they're going, wait a minute, that's like half, half
What do
their
you
food.
eat? Yeah.
Yeah. Well, now may be a good time to tell people what they do eat, what we do suggest they eat, right?
It's very simple. Fruits, vegetables, and animal products.
That's it.
Yeah.
So dairy,
So,
it makes
wide
sense.
array.
Yeah, it is, and it's really not that complicated, but people, I think that's what's going on within that needs those grains and the cookies and the cakes and all that. And I promise you, folks, if you get off of that stuff, you do not crave it as much. In fact, you'll have it again. The taste is not there. I mean, I have a cookie once in a while, and it's just like, it's not what I thought anymore. I don't know. Do you feel that way too? It's sort of like it just doesn't do it for me anymore.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I take little bites still now and then just to remind, because I feel, like everyone around me is eating them. I go, can I just have a little bite? And then it's like, oh, I don't want any more. That's it. Thanks.
Yeah,
That's
thank
it.
you. I
Yeah.
agree. We
I
work with
thought
it.
that
No, go ahead.
I thought that giving up bread would be really hard, but actually I found that potatoes, that they're the ones that call to me. I just give me
Mm,
potatoes sometimes.
sometimes
With
So
lots of
have
butter.
potato with a salad. Have a potato. Have it with a salad. Just don't eat it with meat.
Yeah. And that's what usually happens though, is that you have dinner and
Yeah.
there's a potato and there's meat and that's yeah. Ugh.
Nothing digests and you want to nap an hour later. Yeah.
eating potato, that's like the Irish diet, right? I mean, that's what they eat.
That's the American diet.
The American diet
Mm.
too.
The Irish have taken over now.
Yeah, yeah. That's right.
It's very Pennsylvania Dutch as well, except they have a lot of noodles too.
Yeah. Well, German too.
Huh.
My family used to make sauerbraten, and which I loved. Oh God, that was amazing. And then these potato bowls. When I say they were this big, I'm not kidding. They were huge. I don't know how they made them, but they were
Potato bowls?
balls. Yeah, they were
Oh,
just
balls, balls. Okay.
potato balls. That's what they called them. I don't know. It was
Hmm.
really good though. And then that red cabbage. They have it with red cabbage too. Which, you could still do the red cabbage and the meat, but I just leave the potato balls out.
Use yucca.
That's true. Yeah, yucca is okay, huh?
Yucca is very close to potato in texture and
Yes.
even flavor.
You
I
can
mean,
get those. Go ahead.
it's still pretty starchy to have with protein.
Right.
Like squash too. We do it once in a while, but I'm very aware I feel more bloated when I do.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, you guys don't suggest, you suggest not eating exactly squash with meat as well, right?
Well, if you can get away with it. I mean, it's it's a lot of insoluble fiber and there's a lot of starch, so you're going to have higher sugar levels when you eat it. And there is some conflict with digestion with the protein in the mix. And some people process that easier than other people do. I pretty much feel it, and it seems like as time goes on, the longer I'm living this way, the more it affects me. So we do it less and eat less when we do it.
Right.
I don't know. I can't say that squash is detrimental. There's a lot of, good nutrition in it. It's like winter food, when you're just going to semi-hibernate.
Yes. Well, you can also use it with the squash that you put through those I forget what they're called, spaghetti things. It's the thing that you twirl and it.
Like zucchini, you mean?
That's zucchini. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, zucchini and summer squash, it's not the same story. I'm talking about pumpkins and butternut and acorn squash, things like that.
That has more. Those are a little starchier, is what you're saying.
But I'll make dessert out of them. I'll make them just like pumpkin.
Right.
Mix them with eggs and cream and a little bit of honey, and bake it into like a custard.
I'm coming to your house.
Yum. Me too.
You don't even need a crust on that. Just put it in a casserole dish.
Nice. Now, you said, I'm assuming this is like a treat once in a while, that you had made some sort of strawberry pie before, and you used a little bit of graham crackers underneath. So, for people who get to the point like I'm at, Cheryl's at, I'm sure you are, obviously, Delanne, where, you've been off grains for so long that now you can bring them back a little bit on the weekend, maybe once in a while. So something like that, graham crackers, was there a reason that you used graham crackers as opposed to like a whole wheat crust?
It's a lot easier to make, and it's tastier. I just needed something on the bottom.
I mean, I love graham crackers, so that's perfect. But I was just wondering if there's something that, like graham flour, is any better than the rest, or not really?
Not really, no. It's still grain-based. It's really not the best. But, we say 80-20.
Yes.
And, sometimes we're 90-95 for weeks on end.
Right.
And then there's times when things come up, or, I don't know, our little gremlins get the better of us, and we cheat. But if I'm going to cheat, I want it to be really, really good.
That's
And
right.
well worth it,
That's right.
No random cheating around here.
That's right. Yeah, if you're going to do ice cream, make it strawberry ice cream, right?
And that's the thing. If you're going to cheat, do it with intention and love it.
Yeah,
Appreciate
love it. Exactly. I feel that way too. Sometimes you just need to eat something that just gives you something like a joy, and that's okay. But as long as you're not, overindulging all the time.
If you follow along for the most part, your body will absolutely let you know when you've given it too much.
Yeah, absolutely. Yes.
Yeah, that's one thing I was seeing, is that I would tend to make exceptions on the weekend, and I was getting like headaches on Tuesdays. And I couldn't put that together for quite a while, but now it's pretty obvious. It's like, oh, yeah, family dinners and stuff. And I'm just really still affected by stuff. I probably can't go, I had to stick it, definitely 80-20, and not even, I can't make exceptions like maybe some people can. And there are some people who have to be very strict with their diet,
Yeah. It depends on where you're at with bringing back the, there's an argument for your homeostasis, and that's your ability to regain your balance when it's been knocked off. You go into a stress mode, you get upset, you eat something you shouldn't, you get exposed to something. Almost everybody is going to feel some impact of that. But when your body is in balance and your homeostasis is strong, you can bring yourself back fairly quickly. And until that's established, that's why everybody's a little bit different with it. My daughter, young people can get away with a lot more cheating and not feel so bad. And they also don't connect the dots. So, like, she has a monthly cycle, and I can see it clearly. She has the reactions, the PMS, and tired, and the cramps are worse, and all the, the side effects from it. And that could be because a week and a half ago, she had soda and French fries, and she had a burger with a bun or whatever. She went on a little mini binge, and those kind of cravings do hit at that time of the month. Yeah. And then 2 weeks later, you're feeling it. They don't always, connect the dots for that. It takes a little while.
Yep, that's true, including skin eruptions, all the blemishes that, my kids go through.
Rashes, and even something like being affected by the sunburn. People won't burn or at least not nearly as much, if they're eating a diet like ours. You get rid of the processed foods and the grains and the garbage. Your body, I can't tell you physiologically what it actually does, but I do know that you don't have the same effects from the sun, the detrimental effects. You get the more positive effects. It does make a difference.
Yes.
Huh. Yeah.
I've noticed that too. And I did try butter. Butter
On your skin?
on my skin.
Unsalted butter, I hope.
Oh, I don't remember if it was. There, I kind of went up to the waiter. I'm in Costa Rica going, do you guys have butter, like real butter? Because what was on the plate was this like margarine crap.
Oh, yeah.
Like, no, real butter. And they brought me these little packages, and there I am, like, slathering myself with butter.
Did it help?
Well, looking at me like, what in the world? But you know what? It did. I mean, you cannot lay out, and I can't. I mean, you guys can see my skin, right? So I could not, like, lay out in that sun for a long period of time. You're right on the equator at Costa Rica, so it wasn't really a good place to try that. But yeah, it did help. I mean, it still get a little bit of a burn, but you just gotta be cautious out in that sun. That's all.
And you have to acclimate. If you're visiting the equator and you don't live on the equator, obviously that sun's going to be far more intense. Your skin's not prepared.
That's right.
But
yeah.
If you take a really hot shower after too much sun and you get the amino acids either in unsalted butter or an amino acid oil onto that skin, most of the time you really avoid, I don't want to say altogether avoid sunburn, but I've done it 3 times this year. My skin was red. And the hot shower for some reason seems to take the heat out of the burn. Before the skin's even dry, I'll put the amino acid oil on, and the next day the red's out, and I have tan. Now, I'm not super fair, but I'm not also super sunburn resistant either. I'm pretty normal that way.
And it does help. So you're saying it's almost better as like an aftercare after sun.
Well, I think the oils help beforehand as well. You get some, and that's kind of counterproductive. If you need to use something for the sun, you're better to use sunblock rather than sunscreen, because sunblock doesn't have as many detrimental chemicals and things in it.
Yes.
As natural. It's horrible. Pardon?
There's some natural ones I usually buy that have, it's mostly titanium dioxide. That's what they all use. Now, I know that's a heavy metal, though, so I don't know. But there's
that and the zinc oxide is mostly what sunblock is made of.
Right, zinc oxide.
So that ingredient isn't so bad. It's all the other stuff they put in.
You're
The
right.
titanium they'll put that in the sunblock, but then the other chemicals, they're wreck your hormones, cause allergies. They're just really bad.
Yes. Yeah.
But as far as there's no getting away from it. Your skin needs to be conditioned for the summer sun. So you take it in little bits for a while. If you get a little too much, you treat it with some amino acid oil. But you've got to sort of honor your biology. Don't think that, you got a chemical or some cream you're going to put on your skin and you could just go out and be in the sun all day.
Right. That's right.
If you're blocking the sun, you're not getting your vitamin D either.
Right. That's right. You're talking about amino acid oil as in the EMLC that you guys have?
Well, that is what we sell. And unsalted butter, believe it or not, is pretty much the same thing. It's pure amino acids.
Right.
There are other things out there that you can find that are amino acid oils. I don't know of any in particular I can recommend, but, I know that we don't have the only one.
So when people are getting those butter cravings, they're really wanting the amino acids?
Yeah. Butter, sour cream,
There you go.
heavy cream, milk. Yeah, that's really what, that's what's good about animal products is the things that have the fat.
Cool.
So yeah, eat that fat on the end of your steak. It's good for you.
I do.
Yeah.
I do. Good for you. Well, ladies, what do you think? Do we have a good conversation here? I think so, right? Did we cover everything? Cheryl, what do you think? Anything more?
I think there are a couple of things that kind of bordered onto mindfulness
Ah, yes.
in eating and stuff. Well, even about the shoulds in eating. And I know I can be a bit of a rule follower, and I get real bogged down with the shoulds. And I was listening to the video with Leo about morality and, you know, the should and everything. And I thought about that, as it goes with diet. And um, a lot of times just thinking things through, avoiding the should, is this going to help me? How is this going to affect me? Um, and it's not so much about this is good or bad. Or you got any thoughts about that? Either of you guys?
Well, in that regard, I just like to say, where in reality can you point to anything that's good, bad, right, or wrong? It really doesn't exist. It's a matter of perception and choice. It only exists given where you say you stand in the matter, right? So it's your perspective. And, we have general ones that we maybe as a society agree on, but the point is it really doesn't exist. So, and what Leo says, I agree, that things should be the way they are because they are, and that's the bottom line. Anything else is just resisting what's so, and you really can't work with anything if you're resisting it. You have to totally be able to accept and be with what is, even if you want something different, because that's the starting place, right? Oh, and just to let everybody know, leoactualized.org, I highly recommend it. It's a website where you go. Leo Gura, I believe his last name is, has a lot of videos, hundreds of them on there, all different subjects, makes a lot of good sense. He has a hour-long explanation on how to do mindfulness meditation. And I saw the other day he just posted one meditation for the beginner. So highly recommend. Go check Leo out. He's great.
He's on YouTube as well.
Yeah. Most of his videos are also on YouTube. But what were you saying, Cheryl, you wanted in the mindfulness realm? I'm not sure.
This also, I think, a lot of people aren't real mindful when they're cooking or when they're eating as well. And just to take that time, when you're cooking, to be with your food. And also when you're eating it, to be with your family and to take your time and stuff and enjoy your food.
Yeah, and as you're talking, I'm struck by a lot of the things we spoke about. Really, I think what we were saying in a different way was just be conscious. Be conscious of where it comes from. Be conscious of what you're doing with it, why you want it. And in the consciousness, you will share and you will be connected and you will pay attention and things will taste better. And, there's a whole downstream of just being conscious about, and that's being in the moment, rather than being in a thought process about, what's happened in the past or what you're going to do right after dinner or, whatever your mind is blah, blah, blahing on for you. Just be in the moment. Be conscious.
The way to live, I guess, right?
Absolutely. I mean, all we ever have is right now.
This is true. A little challenging sometimes the way that life is set up. Sometimes you forget to look around at your life and just appreciate what you have and who's in your life, and even the food you're eating. Not everybody in the world is eating food. They're looking for food. We forget to appreciate that. You can go to the refrigerator and just get some more food.
Or run down the store, or we're just a very convenient spaced society. And it doesn't hurt right here to point out that if you have concerns, worry, if you're feeling lonely, if there's anything, in a more of a detrimental emotional state or thought processes going on, you can have a perfectly healthy meal and turn it toxic. Your digestives will not do the same job as you do if you're sitting pleasantly and feeling connected and actually sharing a meal with people you love.
Well, didn't we bring that whole topic up with people's concern about should I eat acidic food versus alkaline-based diets and all of this? And I think it was Will who brought up that, you can do all kinds of things like that, but your diet or your body can shift so quickly based on an emotional happening. Somebody insults you, somebody hurts you. It can shift your body completely. So,
All the time. Yeah.
but we say that like you can control all that. I mean, that's just called life. That's you can't control what's coming at you all the time. It happens. So I guess it's just finding some sort of balance in it, and
That's it. Your homeostasis. Build your natural health and
yeah,
you will have balance. And that's the key. The body needs to be able to return to its center point.
yeah,
Things are going to throw you off. You're going to have shock and awe, whether it's good or bad, but you got to be able to return to your center point efficiently.
yeah, exactly. Don't run from it. Just deal with it and move on.
Or just stay there and enjoy it.
Enjoy the crazy roller coaster, right? That's it.
Thought about these military guys and how they have to eat their food down in like 2 minutes or something, and probably under stress, and what that must do to the body. This.
I know what it does to the body. I have a son who's in the Marines.
Okay.
He's rock hard and disciplined not to share or get wimpy or be present to, his inner self. It's really sad. He doesn't even know what chemicals were injected into his body. And he's been working with us probably 6 months now. And it's so solidified, it really doesn't move much. It's going to be a while. But that's intentional. That's what you need in a soldier.
Right. Yeah.
You're the one who had the super high numbers at one time?
No, that was another son. He didn't go in the military. That's right. One of the highest readings we ever had. But he was working in the oil field.
Ooh.
Right.
Just to share also how accurate that scan gets is my husband went kind of back into the field, you might say. He's an electrical contractor, and went back into, kind of helping the guys on the job as opposed to just being on the phone and doing all the business. And his scan came up with a whole bunch of electrical things, power lines, transformers. I'm saying, I mean, we live on a block that does have that going on down the block, but I have never seen that come up on the scan. And there were like 5 different readings for electrical things, and I thought, oh, he's been getting back in the truck and all that. And isn't that interesting? So, yeah, it's extremely accurate, And all allergens came up, all kinds of environmental allergens, and that's exactly what's going on around here. So,
He's just oversensitive right now.
yeah, we kind of all are around here. But like I said, a lot going on in this environment.
There's so many variables that could be affecting that.
Sure.
But yeah, changing the work environment definitely can play into it.
Yeah, I mean, I can't explain all of a sudden transformers and power lines, and there were some other things, electrical on there. I said that has to be connected to that he's working now, and just around the electrical so much more. You know, it's got to be something like that, I guess.
Looks like it anyway, huh?
Yeah, well, I don't know how else to read that, but anyway, so it was a good conversation, ladies.
Yeah. Yeah.
Delanne, thank you for coming on with us and sharing all that great information because I know it's very much sought after, especially in the kitchen. And we want to thank everybody who's watching us tonight and watching after, you know, you can catch us on YouTube, by the way, and I believe it's even on Google for a while, Google Hangouts. So
Yeah.
yeah, but it goes directly to YouTube, so it's kind of cool. People, I know a few people mentioned they couldn't watch it tonight. Oh, but I'll watch it after work and things like that. So
Yeah.
it's great.
Well, I'd just like to invite everybody, you know, if we didn't answer your questions or you need to know more about what we talked about, certainly go to the community kitchen and we'll help you out there.
Yeah.
Yep, that's where you'll find us, hanging out, posting crazy things.
Thanks for having me on, girls. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Alrighty, so what do you say? I think this is Body Electrician Live signing off for this evening, and thank you again for joining us. We'll see you soon. In fact, we'll see you next Tuesday with Mr. Patrick Jordan is coming back on.
Awesome.
Thanks, everybody.
Right.
Good night.
Bye.
Good night.